Okay, with winning screenwriter Andy Carpenter, you were wrong about the Jellyfish is the feature film. We performed the first scene reading of it. So there's a virus, I guess, that's killing just human males, not females.
Yeah, correct. An unnamed virus, of course, and the for me the virus itself really isn't the focus. It was just the to drive the narrative
Yeah,
um, of what could send a family into flight, and I think with COVID. Um, I think we all learned that we're one out outbreak away from an entire new thing to come and scare the hell out of all of us.
yeah,
And um, most movies, it seemed to me, seem to be about how the men are going to handle everything and how the men will come to the rescue with a gun or some fighter jet or something. Um, but I get a little bit tired of that, and um, I just wanted to see what might happen if it was just one family and it was the women that were um, going to survive or had a chance at surviving.
yeah. So I guess because there's that virus, as you say, and then they go to sailboats, the young daughter and the wife and the dad,
Correct.
the Atlantic Ocean, and they try to evade the virus, and that's sort of the setup to the story, I guess, the setup to the drama.
Yeah, correct.
So what kind of made you kind of focus on this story? What made you want to write it?
Um, I I have grown up sailing boats, and every year, not every year, but every month or so, I take a look on Facebook Marketplace and just try to see what kind of boats might be in our price range, which is not a lot. And I just came across this massive boat off the coast of Florida, and it was a rundown boat, but it was a sailboat that was custom built for this dentist. So it had all this weird dentistry stuff in there. I don't know. It was hard to figure out, but I reached out to the owner, and I really write a lot of times with locations in mind. If I can see a person in a specific location, it helps kind of generate an idea. And I just thought, what interesting things could happen on this boat. And I'm had found an actor, his name is John Conway, who I hired to star in a short that I wrote and directed. And he's this phenomenal actor he's so dynamic. And I just wanted to find a project for him. And then I also worked with a young actress named Mila Rose, and they worked together on another project that I wrote and helped produce. It's called 10-Day Window, about a father that loses a child to a brain-eating amoeba, and he kind of goes out to seek revenge. So I have this love and fear of water
Hmm.
personally. And they just have this great chemistry. And I, wanted to put them in a different position. It was just a natural fit for her to be his child. And I found another actress, Heidi, and we had a table. We read the script and they loved it, and we had a table read, and they just have a chemistry um, that really just suits all of them. And so matching those three
Yeah.
actors with this location, that just seemed to work out really well.
So you got a plan. Like it's like you see it in, you see the script kind of comes like, because most people write scripts in terms of the conversations I have is that it's a spec script setting to their agent or kind of setting to producers, kind of like showcasing their work. Your script seems like you want to make this into a film.
Yeah, absolutely. My favorite director is Jeff Nichols, and somehow he has Michael Shannon as um, his collaborator, but
Like it's
you
the
know, I
Scorsese to De Niro, I guess, in a sense, right?
yeah, yeah. I'm Jeff Nichols negative integer light.
Okay.
But but I do have a vision I think that resonates. I mean, you were wrong about the jellyfish has garnered a lot of recognition. Your festival included, and I'm honored in what I really think that is it. I mean, it's definitely a small, very low budget piece. That has universal implications. And I think anyone that, survived COVID, it would resonate with like just the fear of this unknown and how we really had to like isolate ourselves with our families, and I like for me that was a beautiful period of time in a way because like we have an 8-year-old son who was 4 then, but we took him out of school and he was home with me like pretty much every minute and how I mean, that period of
Those are
time was,
valuable times. I have the same story, so I totally understand where you're coming
yeah.
from. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I think that we all do. I mean, of course, there are a lot of people out there who are like, COVID's, stupid and you're, whatever the
Never,
other
yeah,
side.
conspiracy theories, right? So yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that is the point. I write for specific people that I know and can see their range, but also want to push their range. Um, to take us all out of comfort, our comfort zone, I think. Um, and so like my goal is to direct this myself. And they're off the coast of Florida in late summer, there's these phosphorescent plankton in the water. Um, that when the water moves, they like kind of light up. And I refuse to use any kind of AI or CGI. Like if I can't do something practically, I would never do it. Um, but it just lends to the intimacy and like the otherworldliness of their story. Um, they could almost be astronauts, just cold, dark, and isolated, but in this beautiful glowing water. So
Yeah.
I want to make it.
You want to make, have you, so have you directed before?
Yeah, I directed a short west of the New Kansas a couple of years ago. We raised the funds, produced it, and I mean it's a film that doesn't really fit in a lot of categories. It's about Jesus and Satan if they were brothers in the Western pioneer days, and they come together in Kansas, what is the newly named state of Kansas, and they talk about the trajectory of humanity and
Sounds like a
um,
story that could have happened.
yeah, I mean, it could have, and I think it's a story that often humanity comes to these inflection points of like, let's take stock of what progress means. Like,
Yeah.
I think we're at one now with AI. Like, do we choose to progress at the rate and cost of, the depletion and horror for a great chunk of humanity I mean, we'll get what we want and we'll be comfortable at the expense of others. It's kind of where that
This
came
is sort of
from.
the evolution. Like this is all experiment in many ways, right? We got our thumbs and we kind of like blew up the world, and we have human domination, and so I guess our experiment is just to kind of like evolve and create, and because every great invention, there's always like it's always a great downfall as well, right? Like you look at the internet, it's like it's great, but then it's also shitty, right?
Yeah,
So
I am literally horrified by the prospect of AI. And one of the I don't watch a lot of movies, but one of the movies that really still resonates with me is The Mosquito Coast with Harrison Ford. And sometimes I want to take my wife and our boy and get on a sailboat ourselves and
yeah.
just ditch out. I don't like sending them to school knowing that they're all on their Chromebooks or they will be soon. And um, yeah, I just the older I get, the more fearful of things I seem to get, which is I
Well,
wish
let's
it
go. I
was.
want to go back because you're very candid in your blog interview, and I'll read what you said. You said this story, like all the stories I seem to write, is about my daily agony, knowing one day I will have to say goodbye to my only son, and figure out how to make the most of the little things in life that bond us within our family. So that's an interesting take on, like you said, you daily. It's a daily agony. I don't want to get too personal, but
No, it certainly is. It is a certain um not like an overwhelming sense of doom or like a chill, but my wife and I didn't have our son until I was almost 50. And we talked about having another child even this year. And I was like, well, if we have another child when they're 16, I'll be 70. Um, and my mother died about a year ago, and my dad is right now he was in a hospital for about 10 days. And I just wrote and directed another short um, called Everything That Comes With It for a film festival. And there were two children in in that script, and the mother of one of the child actors said, well, what is before we started filming, she said, what is this about? And I said, well, it's really about saying goodbye to my father who's in a nursing home right now. But it doesn't say anything about that in the script.
yeah,
But that's what the script is about. I mean, so like when I'm with my son and my wife and I are with our son, it's really about not taking any of those moments for granted.
yeah. And it happens so it goes so quick. It's a cliche, but it goes so fast, right?
Yeah, it's no joke.
Yeah,
It's no joke. And I really,
yeah,
really struggle with how to let him grow and be his own dude and like just cherish that and champion whatever he's interested in
yeah.
doing. Um, and
You can't
around our
bottle him
house,
up, right? You can't bottle him up. Like he, you have to let him be, right? Like let him
yeah,
grow and be part of society.
yeah, and you do, and I like probably once a week I say, "What are you going to be?" And as I drive him to school, I check him out in the rearview mirror,
Yeah,
and what are you going to be when you grow up? Because he's so creative and thoughtful, and part of this script is that this father wrote a letter to his wife and his daughter, knowing that he was going to die. And um, what I tell my son is that in each one of these screenplays, there's a message for him in there. And whether it turns into a movie or not, he'll have the script and he'll know I was thinking about you. And um, I hope that he can read any script I write and say, "Oh, I remember when my dad and I were having a conversation about this,"
yeah.
and somehow it comes across in the script for them. So there are messages to him. Really, I mean, every script is a love letter
It's
to my
about death.
child.
Every script that you write is about death in a sense, right? So
It's about knowing that death comes, so making the most of life,
yeah,
um, and dealing with the fears around the 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 astronomically fast pace of time.
yeah. But yeah, I get for me personally, I just want I don't want them to be too sad. Like it's like because it's part of the process, right? We all die.
Yeah,
You just gotta move
yeah,
on with your life and just make sure that, like it's part of the natural process. You want to die before your children, right? Like of course you do, right? So
yeah,
but you also want your children to say, okay, that's part of life. And I'm not saying like to move on like the next day, but like say that
yeah,
like yeah, we like that's part of and it could happen tomorrow, it could happen 50 years ago. You don't know, right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
you have kids?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. Do they are they writers or creators
Sure, of
or
course, yeah.
okay, that's
But they
cool.
do
That's
they
cool.
do what they, you want to keep the you want to like it's that fine process. You want to guide, but also kind of like see what they like at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is nothing that um I try to tell our son, there's nothing you can't do. You just try it, whether or not it works. At least you tried. Which is kind of the best message I think that I can give him, other than knowing that whatever he does, we'll love him.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, it's a crazy ride, but it seems like you're tense about it, which is like it's in your script as well, right? Like it's the drama is there. It's like really yeah, I can see this as a movie. I can see the dialogue. I can see the subtext, right? And
yeah,
yeah, it's there.
yeah. That I think everything that I write, I also try to write with the hope that I can direct it.
Yeah.
Um, in Columbus, Georgia, where I live, I work with well, when COVID started, I reached out on Facebook and I said, "Is there anyone in this town that is interested in writing screenplays?" And two guys showed up and sat in my front yard, and we started having conversations. And one of them, his name is Paul Rowe, and together we've made several shorts. Wrote and
Crazy.
produced two features in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So he has a production company, Last Caress Productions, and we have this phenomenal DP. His name's Trey Walker of Mud Films. And the three of us have decided that we don't need anybody's permission to make something. And we're trying to cultivate a film positive community where if you have a project that you want to make, how can we help you make it? We don't need to be like ego driven. Um, we want people to be able to make film, and we're trying to show like, hey, you can do it. So yeah, so we have two feature films, um, and some shorts,
That's
and
great. And this all started in COVID?
yeah, it started in COVID. Like how can we do something positive? How can we make something positive about isolation, or how can you use, what's given you to be
Yeah.
creative to create? I think that was the starting off point for our little group.
Well, from my experience, it seems like a lot of people like yourself got creative and started doing what they always wanted to do with their lives during
Yeah.
this time, and they're still doing it.
Yeah. Good. I mean, that's great. Art is so therapeutic, even when it hurts.
Yeah, 100%. So, also in your script, you said something interesting that made me laugh out loud because I think we're on the same age. I'm from the 80s as well. And we asked you what movie you saw the most times in your life, and you said The Outsiders, of course. Why, of course?
Uh, yeah, I guess I can't really explain that. Of course, I just maybe there's an assumption that all kids watch it. I mean, for me, it's just as I sit around in my jean jacket and my kid Roland, he could say Dally real good. I just love those characters. Having just a bunch of
Do it
kids
for
having
Johnny.
this.
You're gonna do it for Johnny.
Yeah, let's do it for
Yeah.
Johnny. Yeah,
That's
I just love the
Nobody's gonna
people
start a
coming.
fight without me, right? When Dally
Yeah,
comes
yeah,
in, yeah,
yeah, man. You gotta stand up for
Carrie.
your. I think that's what it is standing up for your people, like finding your people and standing up for them, and
The
that's been a
greasers and the
theme.
socias, right? The
It,
socias are like the rich and the greasers are like the poor, other side of town.
yeah, yeah. But they also wear cool boots.
The
You know what I mean?
rubber
So
boots.
that's part of it, man.
Yeah.
Um,
Emilio Estevez, right?
yeah, yeah,
Okay, so who's in that? So Emilio Estevez, Matt Dillon,
yeah.
Ralph Macchio, Patrick
Right,
Swayze, Tom
Patrick
Cruise,
Swayze. Um,
Rob Lowe,
yeah, Diane Lane.
Diane Lane. That's a pretty intense cast. Like they're all starting their careers. Maybe Swayze had a little bit of a career going, but and then
Yeah,
Thomas Howell is the lead, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
and I just on YouTube, just thank God for YouTube,
Yeah,
but I just came across these tapes of their auditions, like as they were happening. Just
yeah.
someone just recorded the audition process, and I just thought, man, that's so cool how just how that project came together. And I mean, I love the book itself is such a pretty book.
I see. It's
Um,
like a kid's book, right? But well, I have to say
yeah,
that Francis Coppola directed the film, right?
yeah,
And he did
it,
back to
it's
back. He did another S.E. Hutton movie, and then
Rumblefish.
Rumblefish, and then he did Outsiders. They did it right. They did it right in a row, right back to back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was in the groove.
yeah. He was in the S.E. Hutton kids book groove, right? So
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I feel like that period of time, it like seemed so much simpler. It was, you know, I don't know, it just seemed like a simpler time, and I just really appreciate that. And it goes that back to like being afraid of AI and like not wanting to be overwhelmed with computers and stuff, but just showing up in a park and throwing punches.
throwing punches. Nobody
You
gets
know,
arrested, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Lots of
Uh,
concussions, but nobody gets arrested, right?
yeah, yeah. I
And
think
they
it's a good.
win, right? The outsiders win, even though Ponyboy gets his ass like handed to him. The rest of them take care of themselves, right? Yeah,
Yeah, they come around for family
yeah,
as they define it.
yeah.
Like
But it's bittersweet though uh because what's his name? Johnny dies, right? And then
he
Dad
does.
dies as well, right?
Yeah, he gets gunned down by
Going
the
down, yeah,
uh,
yeah,
I mean that part wasn't all that good, but you mean I love Dallas Winston, man. It's all those dudes are just cool. I mean,
yeah. No, no, because it remind because my sister was 5 years older than me, and she was like she liked the movie because like the guys, right? They're all like handsome young teenage men or
yeah.
boys, I should say. And so she would watch the movie all the time. And that was my introduction to film in many ways because
Uh,
I would sit back and watch it and then I would find the continuity errors and I would see how he did the
oh,
scene. I didn't know this is the guy who did The Godfather either, right? Like
yeah.
I didn't know anything. I was like maybe 7 years old. Maybe I probably shouldn't have been watching the movie in the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
place.
yeah. Yeah,
But
that's
then
right.
but it was like, oh, this is how they're doing the scene. And then like, I think I saw the movie like 30 times in like
Oh.
yeah. And then I watched it recently, a couple years back. Yeah, I liked it better when I was a kid.
Yeah, no, I can get that.
Yeah,
I get that.
yeah,
I got a bad shoulder now, so I'm not looking to put on a jean jacket and go
yeah,
fight
yeah.
anybody. But
I kind of am. I kind of am.
oh,
I
okay, all
want to,
right, man.
I want to throw it down one more time.
Okay,
I'm
this,
gonna regret saying that, but like just one more fight. I just want to. We signed waivers that nobody can sue each
yeah,
other, right? So
yeah.
yeah.
This will be something I probably shouldn't say. But the last person I hit was my own dad. I punched him in the mouth
Oh
when I
yeah.
was in high school. So like and then when that happened, I was like, I ain't gonna punch anybody again because
Yeah.
I could see where I'm going. But our family we went to northern Georgia a few weeks ago, and there's a drive-in movie theater up there, and it was the first time our son had been to a drive-in movie theater. And it really, I mean, it's styled just like the 50s, you know, so when The Outsiders would have, you know, that time period when it was filmed. But just being up there and that kind of energy and not, you know, I'm not wanting to get into a fight, but just like the energy of the energy of potential. And yes, I am, yeah, I'm more, if my when my son watches that like Roland, I'm not advocating you go to a drive-in and get in a fight. I'm just saying
Yeah.
it's a cool environment, man. So,
Cool.
yes, I don't want to fight anymore. But
Yeah, exactly. That makes sense.
yeah.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on the success of the film. I hope you make it into film. Keep in touch. I love to see your shorts as well. And it's a great story. You got a great origin story, and it's a great script. So I'm glad it's doing well on the festival circuit. And I hope you get to make it into a movie.
Thank you so much. I'm proud to be part of your festival, and I love what you guys are doing too. That's why I submitted. So
I
thank you
appreciate
very
that.
much.
Thank you so
All
much.
right.
All
All
right.
right. Take care.